Hi guys, I'm Mike Slack and I'm here to talk about my new kit layout. Basically the logic for this was I was really expanding my choice of music that I was playing, and I thought that for playing a lot more kind of rock music and a lot more variation of styles, I figured a new kit layout would be quite a good idea. It's quite a strange layout. I've not seen that many people with a similar thing before, but I've raised the mid-tom very high up above the rest of the kit. So for when you get your fills in around the top, you end up with a very high right hand. So like this. So you get a very high right hand at the end of the fill, which means you can very easily get your left hand under to hit floor tom for the end. I quite like that as a setup. The one thing I would say is that it means that I have to move my crash, or one of my crashes, from that corner where the mid-tom was before, into the other corner. The only thing with that is it means I've got three cymbals completely stacked on top of each other. The small crash, the splash, and the large splash. Point of interest, all my cymbals are Zildjian A Customs. I find that they have a very nice, bright sound. And I feel like they can convey a lot of styles very well, just because of that. They're very good quality cymbals. The China, which I've got mounted upside down, which I'll mention later, the China is a Zildjian ZBT. I figured that I would use a slightly less expensive China because it's not the sort of thing you use a hell of a lot. I mean, I probably use it more than other people do, but it's really not the sort of thing you use a hell of a lot in music. So I figured it didn't need to be that sort of high quality. The cymbals are all set. So if I was going to hit onto this side for the cymbal, you would get a groove that comes round, you get a fill that comes round, and you'd instinctively go for the top cymbal, which is the cymbal I use the most. The large crash I mostly use as a substitute for a ride. I mostly use that as a substitute for a ride, and the splash on top I use very rarely, which is why it's sort of hidden between the two cymbals. The other thing with raising the mid-tom, the other thing that gave me is room to put in a block and a cowbell, neither of which I use very much, but if we happen to in a groove, you can get some quite good grooves in a Latin feel with the block and the cowbell. I've got plastic blocks, I've got a set of them, but I could not fit the whole set because one of them is very large. The cowbell is just mounted on a clip stand that attaches to the top of the bass drum, and the block is mounted to a attachment which goes onto the tom stand. It used to be mounted on a cymbal stand, but because I've raised up the tom stand to raise the mid-tom up, it means that my toms are angled more and that I can fit that clip stand onto the tom stand, which is a really great mount for it because it's a strong, sort of powerful stand. Coming back to the China is mounted upside down, and the reason for that is that you get such a crisper sound, I found. I noticed that a lot of really heavy rock drummers tended to mount their China upside down, basically just because it gets such a crisper sound and a long-lasting sound. It's a Zildjian, they're all really long-lasting sounds. Even after you dampen them sometimes, which is a real sort of, it's great until you need that sound that decays very quickly, in which case you're going to need a slightly different type of cymbal. Point of interest, I've got what's called Slapcats gel on each of my drums. I use this instead of Moon gel. It's slightly cheaper, I think. And it's clear, which means it doesn't have the same look of having a big blue blob on your drum. But it dampens the drums in basically the same way. The kit itself is a Mapex Horizon Fusion kit, which goes with my whole idea of playing a lot of different styles. I'm really into that, playing as many different things as I can. Broadening repertoire is really good. I've replaced the heads with Evans heads. Evans plain white because I think they give a much more clarity of sound and less pingy. The snare is different to the rest of the kit. It's a Black Panther blade, and you can see up here I've actually got the leaflet for the Black Panther snares. They're very, very good. The blade really does cut through any groove, as you'll probably hear. It's got a really good clip mechanism, and that means that the snare can go on and off very, very easily. That's pretty much my kit. If there's any questions, just leave in the comments, I suppose. Thank you for listening.